There are vehicles that make you fall in love with them at first sight. You just saw it, and you already want it. They seduce with their shape, power, and gun length. But not this one. The Badger is good, but it's not so good that you'll like it from the start. So what is this beast, and how do you play it? You'll know in a moment. FV217 Badger. This vehicle resembles a brainchild of Soviet or Chinese engineers. Nothing really implies that this is a top-tier British vehicle. Well, almost nothing. And by the way, this armour hides the true British V-shaped 12-cylinder Rolls-Royce engine with a 37-litre capacity. Just think about these numbers. When you buy a vehicle with an aircraft engine for several millions, you expect it to, if not to fly, at least drive quickly and comfortably. We'll talk about the comfort more, but now, let's see how fast this Badger is. The acceleration dynamics are a surprise. An unpleasant surprise. Wait. 30 kilometers. The maximum speed of the FV is 30 kilometers per hour? Seriously? And they want 6 million credits for that racing car? If you look in the logbook, everything becomes clear. Engine power is 950 horses, but the vehicle mass is 65 tons. The specific power is hardly better than the FV117's, and the maximum speed is even worse. Here it would be nice to say something good. Maybe it traverses faster than others. Think again. The only vehicle slower than the Brit is the Jagdpanzer E100. Enemies will easily run rings around the Badger on any kind of terrain, be it a hard surface or soft soil. It won't stand a chance. Heavy weight and bad dynamics opaquely suggest that the vehicle has thick armour. Let's check. There are small screens on the sides, but they're penetrated quite easily. The rear is thin like cardboard. What about the front? You can't say that the nominal thickness of the upper glacis plate is impressive. But owing to the steep armour slope, the relative armour thickness is around 350 millimeters. The lower glacis plate is worse. Almost any Tier 10 vehicle will penetrate its 240 millimeters. But if you hide the lower glacis plate, you start to understand this vehicle. There are no commander cupolas or driver hatches. You can only penetrate this front without gold shells if you get lucky. And you will have to penetrate it many times. The FV217 has the second highest hit points after the tough guy Jagdpanzer. But that's enough about the armour. Because the gun is the most important bit. For a normal human being to want to spend their hard-earned millions on this vehicle, its gun should be incredible. Even more, it should be the best in the game. Well, let's see. Wait. The alpha damage is 400. Is this really a TD? For the sake of justice, the average damage per shot is 480 points, but you can also hit for 360. And what about the armor penetration? They've got to be kidding. The penetration with a standard shell is 272 millimeters. The only vehicle this parameter beats is the Foch B. But that French tank has a drum. And what do we have here? Things could be worse if the British engineers hadn't had an answer to that question. The thing is, even without a drum, the Badger fires every 8 seconds. Multiply this by the average alpha damage, and you get 3,500 damage per minute. that's for the vehicle in its basic configuration. If you mount equipment, train the crew, and don't skimp on the pudding and tea, reload time will be less than 7 seconds. And the damage per minute will be 4,280. With improved equipment and directives, this tank hunter outputs an unprecedented 4,584 points. There is no such other vehicle in World of Tanks. But that's not all. Take a look at the aiming time. Take a look at the dispersion. Pay attention to the gun elevation and depression angles. You can analyze the numbers all you want, but seeing is believing. Distance is irrelevant for it. It sends shells exactly where the gunner wants them. The gun traverse angle is 30 degrees. The Badger can shoot at different targets without turning its hull. As a result, the risk of being detected is lower. As far as concealment during a shot goes, the Brit is outmatched only by the Swedish Ghost. Yes, this gun has small alpha damage. Yes, it doesn't have the best penetration. But the remaining characteristics are so good that you instantly forget about the first two. The accuracy and aiming time allow the vehicle to hit the most vulnerable spots of the enemy armor. The rate of fire encourages you to exchange shots with any enemy. And when there isn't enough penetration, you can always shift to armor-piercing, composite rigid shells. It won't take long with this rate of fire. Every vehicle has its quirks. The Badger isn't unique in that aspect. And if you decide to go into battle in this TD, you should remember a few simple tips. You're slow. Very slow. You're unlikely to change flank during battle. Analyze the map and team setup beforehand. After you've selected a flank, select a role. If an enemy doesn't have artillery, be more aggressive. Push to the front line, soak up damage. If there's artillery, don't get spotted, and start the battle by firing at the vehicles spotted by your teammates. Good concealment doesn't mean you need to hide in the bushes for an eternity. There is a moment in each battle when you need to advance. Who will do it but you and your 350mm of relative armor thickness? You have a thick front, but your roof, sides and rear are no good. So hide your lower glacis plate. Don't expose the chassis. And absorb damage with your front and front only. The Badger is great, but it highly depends on your allies. You can hold an entire flank, but if there is just a single enemy behind, that will be it. So, monitor the minimap all the time. The trump card of this vehicle isn't its concealment, armor, or speed. This is its game changer. And if you want to really enjoy it, use the best DPM in the game as intended. For this to happen, you just need to survive for longer and shoot more often. That's it. In the hands of skillful tankers, this vehicle can do what it was designed for. It achieves crazy numbers of blocked and caused damage. Perhaps not everybody can play on it, but this crazy Badger is really worth every credit spent.